Hello everyone, this is Aldona Nowak and I will be going over the APA 7th edition changes from the 6th edition. Okay, first of all, let's have a look at the resource. So the 6th edition, as you can see here on the left hand side, that's what we used for a long time. It was from 2009, it was published. Now in October 2019, we've been using the 7th edition, and this is what it looks like as this book right here. Okay, it's a really great resource to have. It's a great book to invest in and have as you go through your schooling. The other resource that is really good is this website. Okay, it's right for the actual APA. It's APA style APA.org. Okay, and it has lots of great resources, lots of great examples above and beyond what the book provides. I use it all the time. Just use the search button here in the search box and type in whatever you're looking for, a certain website or a certain media publication that you're not quite sure how to reference. This is a really great resource to use. Okay, let's go over some of the changes. So better guidelines for the citation online media. For example, that YouTube videos, podcasts, things like that are implemented now as a resource for you to use and reference on your reference page of the specific paper you might be writing. Okay. Updated guidelines for inclusiveness and bias-free language. So this is really good. They did a really great job, especially on that bias-free language. The use of they. We'll go over that in a little bit more specifically. Student-specific paper format. So there are different ways of writing papers, and this publication includes the student-specific papers, how it should be formatted as well. A few changes in how to citate resources. The use of one space after a period at the end of a sentence, and use double quotation marks to refer to linguistic examples. So references and insight citation. There we'll go over 7 different changes from the 6th to the 7th. When it comes to citing sources, some guidelines have been added to make citation online sources easier and more clear. In total, 114 examples are provided, ranging from books to periodicals to audiovisuals and social media. And for each reference category, an easy template is provided to help you understand and apply the citation guidelines. So the first one, publisher location not included anymore. Okay, so publisher location. I apologize for my dogs. Okay, so the first line here is how we used to do it with the 6th edition. You had to indicate when using a book, and the publisher location had to be indicated. With the new edition, the 7th edition, that is no longer needed. Number 2 is in-text citation are shortened for 3 or more authors. In the previous publication, you had to specifically indicate all of the authors the first time, and then you were able to use the et al. Now with this publication, the 7th edition, you can go ahead and use that right away, and this refers to the body of the text. Number 3 is up to 20 authors in the reference list. So this will indicate that now you have to be very specific who the authors were of those articles you've been using, and include them all in the reference page of your paper. Number 4 is the DOIs are formatted as URLs. The DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier, and this unique link is stable. It does not change over time, and it makes the retrieval of sources easier for readers. So the DOIs are formatted as a URL link. Okay, just like this here. You can see it highlighted in the green. And this refers to the reference page. Citing web pages. Okay, so this refers to no longer usage of the retrieved from, indicating sometimes we had to even put the actual date when it was retrieved, the actual date, but this is no longer used. As you can see it here in the 7th edition, it is italicized and there's no longer use of that retrieved from. Okay, so that's the biggest change. One of the biggest changes. Okay, number 6, citing ebooks. Okay, so a lot of times you'll be accessing ebooks versus actual physical books you would have in your hand. So you can see here for the 6th edition how it was, you had to indicate which or how you would accessing the ebook, and now you do not have to do that any longer. And then please note also, the previous change with the DOI formatting according to the 7th edition guideline has been implemented here. Citation. Okay. Contributors other than authors. Okay, so you can see here media type versus includes as authored. So this is a quick overview. So clear guidelines are provided for citing contributors other than authors and editors. The contributors appear in the author's position, and the role of the contributors is added in parentheses after their name. For example, John's, comma, P period, D period, in brackets, director. Okay, directors. I'm just giving you the first example. And then let's talk about that inclusive and free bias language. What kind of updates were included? So writing inclusive and without bias is this new standards, and the APA new publication manual contributes that, and has specific chapters discussing this change. The guidelines provides by APA help authors reduce the bias about topics such as gender, age, disability, race, ethnic identity, sexual orientation, as well as being sensitive to labels and describing individuals at the appropriate level of specificity. And I'll go over that in a minute. So the use of they. So you can see in the previous version, you can go ahead and use he or his, her. Now we will be using they, okay, or their. As you can see that here. Here we go. Is the be specific to the label of individuals or people. So we no longer would say the poor. We say people living in poverty. We don't say transsexuals. We say transgender people or individuals. So we need to be aware and respect the language that people use to describe themselves, and be aware of the language changes over the time. Appropriate level of specificity. So we no longer say over 65s. We say people ages 65 to 75. And we do not say Asian participants. We actually need to indicate who they are. Vietnamese, Cambodian, Thai participants. Okay. Let's look at that paper format, the student-specific guidelines that have been implemented into this 7th edition manual. Okay, the first change is you can go ahead and use any of these fonts listed here, but do pay attention to the actual font size. So Times New Roman is font size 12, Arial is 11, Georgian is 11, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the 5 that have been implemented now, and you're welcome to use that in your papers as long as the font size is specific to the chosen one. Okay. There's no longer use of the running head. Okay, so you can see here on the left hand side, the running head is no longer used, as is indicated on the right hand side here. Okay. This is implemented on the first page and all of the pages of your papers. This is no longer used. Updated heading styles. You can see that in here, the level 1 headers are center, bold, title case, number 2, number 3, 4, and 5. And this is to improve how you structure your paper and organize, and for easy reading as well. Okay, let's look at that sample paper. I will share that with you in a minute as well. This sample paper is in your book. It is on that web page that I provided for you. But I want to just go over quickly here to show you what the title page should look like. So please note that there's no more running head. The page number starts with a 1 on the right top hand corner. Please note the title. Okay, the title is bolded, and each word is with a capital letter that is starting. Okay, in between the title and the student's name, there's 4 spaces. That's the only time you will be using those 4 single space. Otherwise, the rest of your paper is double spaced. And you'll see you have the author, so whoever wrote the paper, so student's name. Affiliation is the department and the university. Next is the course, so the course number and the actual description of the course is included. Next is the instructor. So this is a doctor, so this is the only time you will be using a specific title of an individual. So this person has a doctorate, so you can go ahead and do that. The professor wants you to do that, and the actual date is indicated. This is on page 32 of your paper. Of your book. Page 32 of your book. Okay, I'm just going to highlight a few things from that sample paper that I've already discussed, as well as it is available as a resource for you. Okay, so here's that title page again, and here are a very important way of indicating for page 2. So the title repeats itself here. Okay, you do not say introduction. And you can see the further information if you need with regards to the actual title. It is in table 2.1 and figure 2.4. Next, you will start your introduction of your paper. The last sentence of your introduction will be your thesis statement, introducing how you're going to organize and talk about your whatever topic you're focusing on and the body of the paper. Okay, and pay attention here with regards to how do you cite within the body of the paper. Next, I just want to go over, here we go, this is what I want to talk about. I do recommend that you use headings and organize according to level 1 and level 2. Those are the first 2 levels that are easiest to kind of navigate and organize your paper per each section of the body. And if you want to read about it more, once again, it is available on table 2.3, figure 2.5. Okay. And then I just want to focus on sorry, I was just looking over here. So make sure that you do kind of review this, especially the highlighted areas. How do you reference indicating where your sources came from as well. How do you do a long paragraph, time abbreviations, block quotations, which are indicated here. You can see that they don't start at the same level as your paper. It's a block reference and you do not put them in a quotation. And then I just want to go into the reference page, which is right here, reference page. So the word reference is bolded, centered, just like this. Your book reference, you can see how it is done here. And the journal articles. Majority of you will be using a book or a journal article right here, or some kind of a web page, right? So this one is a report reference that is used. Further information can be found in the book, anywhere from that 10.1 to 10.4. Okay, that's about it. Hope you find this a little bit useful when you organize your papers and get familiar with how to write it according to the new edition of APA 7th edition. Thank you for listening.